Hello, this is Tony Heller from RealClimateScience.com. Democrats are confiscating another $369 billion of taxpayers' money in order to stop climate change. Joe Biden says this bill is the biggest step forward on climate ever. And Barack Obama, using his charming rhetoric, says that the bill is a really big deal. The standard Democrat measure of success is how much taxpayer money they spend. But at the core of the climate cult belief system is the idea that the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere is what controls Earth's temperature. So success or failure of the bill should not be evaluated based on how much money they spend, but rather whether or not the bill reduces the level of atmospheric carbon dioxide. Let's listen to some comments Joe Biden made at a campaign event 2 years ago.
Do we have time for one more question?
Well, actually, can I take a couple more if I do them quick? And ask me about climate change, man. It's the number one issue.
If we don't stop using fossil fuels,
We're all dead. But it is the existential threat that exists. There's three things right off the bat that I would do. The first thing I would do is immediately rejoin the Paris Climate Accord. I helped put that. And by the way, I helped put that together. I'm the guy that convinced our team that China would join because I had spent more time with Xi Jinping than anyone had, and he's embarrassed into having to be part of it, okay? And by the way, in case you want my bona fides, you can check PolitiFacts. I introduced the first climate change bill in 1987, say it was a game changer, and I pushed on it.
Biden said that his climate bill from 25 years ago was a game changer. This graph from NOAA shows the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere throughout Biden's 50-year career as a politician. I've annotated on the graph dozens of different climate bills and treaties so that we can evaluate their success. Biden's game-changing legislation from 1987 did nothing to slow the growth of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. And none of the climate treaties or even the lockdown from 2 years ago slowed the growth of CO2. And in fact, the rate of growth of atmospheric carbon dioxide has more than doubled since Biden came to Washington, D.C. Governments haven't done anything to slow the growth of atmospheric carbon dioxide. The data shows the exact opposite. Biden bragged that he got China to sign a major climate agreement. But China's CO2 emissions have skyrocketed since Joe Biden first entered the White House in 2009. The use of coal, oil, and gas is skyrocketing around the world, even as solar and wind are making little or no progress. Solar and wind only provide about 3% of global energy needs. Joe Biden says his latest spending bill is the biggest step forward on climate in our history, but the reality is it will have no measurable impact on the amount of CO2 in the atmosphere. And according to NASA, that is what controls Earth's temperature, not the amounts of money spent by Democrats. Now let's take a look at the real story. Shortly after leaving office, Barack Obama bought this mansion on the beach in Massachusetts. According to Zillow, Obama's beach home is worth almost $19 million. That's pretty impressive for a guy on a $300,000 a year salary. And that's not Obama's only beach mansion. He's got another one in Hawaii. The property is located on the southeastern tip of Oahu. The Obama's friend Marty Nesbitt officially purchased the heavenly slice of tropical paradise in 2015, paying $8.7 million. Nesbitt is presently the chair of the Barack Obama Foundation, a non-profit organization that includes the My Brother's Keeper Alliance, which gives young men of color access to education, training, and mentoring. Apparently, it also gives them access to mansions in Hawaii. So while Obama was president in 2015, he took an almost $9 million gift from the head of his own nonprofit organization. This is what the property looked like in 2013, and this is what it looked like in 2016. They tore down the old mansion and they're building a new one, adding even more value to the property. So Barack Obama, who says he's very worried about sea level rise, owns $30 to $40 million worth of property just above sea level in Massachusetts and Hawaii. We can conclude a couple of things from this. One is that Barack Obama really isn't worried about sea level rise, and the other is that fear-mongering about climate pays extremely well. Biden has been on a pretty spectacular spending spree for the past 2 years. So now he's adding 87,000 new IRS agents in order to confiscate even more money from taxpayers to help finance Democrats' out-of-control spending. Biden has also sent at least $54 billion of taxpayers' money to the Ukraine, a country where his son has received millions of dollars from a Ukrainian firm accused of bribery. Most of these millions of dollars were received by Biden's son while Biden was vice president of the United States. And then Biden openly brags about using U.S. taxpayer money to get the prosecutor fired who is investigating the case.
And I had gotten a commitment from Poroshenko and from Yatsenyuk that they would take action against the state prosecutor, and they didn't. So they said they were walking out to press conference. I said, "No," I said, "I'm not going to, or we're not going to give you the $1 billion." They said, "You have no authority. You're not the president." The president said. I said, "Call him." I said, "I'm telling you, you're not getting the $1 billion." I said, "You're not getting the $1 billion. I'm going to be leaving here." And I think it was, 6 hours? I looked, I said, "I'm leaving in 6 hours. If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money." Well, son of a got fired.
It's abundantly clear why Donald Trump says that we need to drain the swamp. Toto understands that the climate scam is just one part of tremendous corruption in the U.S. government. You can visit Toto, Kyrie, Caesar, Toki, and Upala on the web at realclimatescience.com.